Ladies and gentlemen, my name is BrendenPlayz. This is Total Extreme Wrestling. We are playing our All Elite Wrestling save for 2020. We're currently week 3 of September, and we are about 2-3 weeks away from doing our next Dynamite special, which will be the 1-year anniversary show, in which we will look to probably put the AEW World Championship on the line, MJF, Jon Moxley, and I think that'll be Kenny Omega, Adam Page versus Inner Circle as well for the tag titles and much more. So a few weeks away from building towards that, and that'll be our main pit stop on the road to full gear. Now, before we go ahead and book our Dynamite and Dark show this week, I did stumble across a couple of little things that I haven't actually really played around with in TEW2020 so far. First thing is merchandise. So I thought this would be a little bit interesting to see, where's our merchandise currently at and who's doing the best at the moment for us. So our merchandise level is currently at a professional, which is level 6 out of 10. Not too bad. And we're currently doing a normal upgrading option, which will give us a 1% increase of our level every single week. So if we wanted to increase that, we'd obviously have to pay more, which would be about $600 more per week to grow it 1 extra percent per week. Now, I'm not exactly sure if it's really worth increasing our merchandise. I don't really know yet, but that's something that we'll probably keep an eye on and play around with. I'm going to keep it at normal for now, but if we are making a lot of money off merchandise, obviously it might be a good idea to look to expand. Now, anyways, let's have a look at the overall merchandise numbers. Now, we won't worry about this month's merchandise just yet, but let's instead look at last month. So last month, Chris Jericho, which seems to be the number one guy every month, I would assume, he was the top merchandise mover. $47,000 he made in merchandise sales. Moxley was the second, $41,000. Massive difference from then on. The number 3 was Cody Rhodes at $12,900. Huge difference, massive difference. Kenny Omega came in at $12,700. So even though Kenny Omega was out all month, he still was able to get some nice merchandise numbers. And at the moment, he's at number 3 for this month. So there's a small little difference there. Adam Page, $5,000. He's at number 5. The Young Bucks, 6 and 7. They're high 4s. Matt Hardy, $4,000. And again, another massive jump. MJF at number 9, $1,400. And then you got Jim Ross, Orange Cassidy, and FTR, Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler in the under 1,000 category. So quite interesting there. We can go down. We can look at the top 27. Santana, he must have sold one T-shirt apparently, because he made $8 for us. He actually got $0 out of it. So that's like a WWE style merchandise cut for Santana. Probably made 20 cents off selling that T-shirt, or was that a cheap T-shirt? Anyways, $8. But yeah, so that goes to show where everyone kind of sits at. I suppose when you think about it, Orange Cassidy at number 11 is very high considering his position on the card. Jim Ross obviously has very high popularity for who he is, and he's just an announcer, so that's probably expected to see him up there in some regard. Darby Allin, very high as well. Now, you have to believe that a babyface would outsell a heel despite popularity, which I feel like has been the case. Moxley, he's number 1. He's the number 1 babyface, and he's at 41,000. And he's fairly different in terms of popularity compared to Chris Jericho. If Jericho was a babyface, I reckon he might be towards 100,000. Honestly, I reckon he could double what he's doing then. This month, though, the new addition of Miro, he's at 2,000 so far this month, so he might do around similar numbers to what Matt Hardy did last month, which is good. Jake Hager, he's up there. Orange Cassidy's dropped down a little bit. Santana's actually done 64. He's at number 26, so he's actually done all right. Arn Anderson's moving a bit of merchandise too. So Santana, he's had a better month. Last month, just $8. This month, $64. So his bank account will be a little bit nicer for him this month. But yeah, so I thought that would be interesting. We might take a look at the numbers when we see them for next month. There might be something we take a look at every single month, but it will be interesting to see who does move up the list and whether or not it's worth investing more money into merchandise, considering our financial situation is still in dire straits. You know, the sponsorships, you know, that helps. The broadcast revenue is our main source of revenue. The ticket sales is probably the big loss we got at the moment. Pay-per-view revenue was a little bit down last month. But our merchandise, you know, we pay, you know, only a few $1,000s a month on merchandise, and, you know, we get over $100,000 of return. So it is pretty profitable for us. So that's something that we probably should invest more money in, you know, considering that we are making a fair amount off of it. So not a bad idea indeed. But we'll wait and see how that goes. Now, the other thing I realized is something that we've been paying for this entire time, and I've never actually utilized at all. And it's one of the new features of TEW2020 is training. So, you know, obviously wrestling schools, or dojos as they used to be mainly known as, they're still a thing, but there's an extra little portion of this. You can get a performance center. Now, the Nightmare Factory is our dojo, or our training school, and it actually is ranked high enough to be a performance center. That means you can send 7 wrestlers to the performance center to continue to train and improve their skills. So I've looked at this and I just kind of picked a random 7 to start with, but we can send 7 guys down there who we see a future in, or are pretty brand new to us, that don't have the skill set at the moment. We can send 7 guys down there to improve. Now, one of them is Pineapple Pete. Now, we spoke about last episode at probably getting rid of Pineapple Pete, so we might take him off that list. The others, though, you know, I'm definitely happy with and want to keep them there. For example, our new tag team of Airwolf and, of course, Angel Dorado. We've changed them to their AEW names, Darius Martin and Dante Martin. So, you know, we're looking to train them up. Anthony Bowens as well, Max Caster, so a couple of new guys there. So we might be able to, we can bring in one more person there, so it might be a good idea to see who's a good pick. Now let's pick someone who's under, well, maybe we'll go experience, how long they've been in the business for. So let's go 3 years as a max. Now, Abaddon would be a good pick. Obviously, Anna Jay, I think, might be the best pick here because I see a big future in her. Austin Gunn would be good. Pillman Jr. Yeah, we already got Tay Conti in there. So I might go Anna Jay. So what we could do is we can send her to the Performance Center. It doesn't matter if she's there. We can still book her. We can still use her as far as I know. I'll have to double check this week, but I'm 98% sure we can still do that. Because it does not say that she's unavailable. So she'll just go to train and she'll continue to get better whilst also being available for us to use, which is great. And Anna Jay at the moment is averaging 21. Her best match is 34. So yeah, not great. But as I said, I still see a bright future in Anna Jay, and I still want to continue to use her. But she kind of is pretty bad in the ring at the moment. She's still very new, so at the moment, not so great. But this new Performance Center, it's a nice little feature. I actually really like it. I haven't really looked into it, but it's a pretty cool thing. At the moment, we spend $48,000 per month to run. So we've been spending all that money and not doing anything with it at all. So that's a big cost that we could have avoided. In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to really hurt us that much. But now that I'm more aware of it, great opportunity to use it, and we could perhaps, track to see the progress and see if it is, evidently making a difference in the overall skill set of the workers that are assigned to it. If we wanted to upgrade it, it would cost, 10% would cost about $200,000 to do it, and would increase our running cost to $73,500 per month. 1% would be $30,000, and it would increase it to $64,000. So it's a big jump to what we're currently paying. So that's where we're at. I'm not sure if it's really worth spending the money to invest in it, but I suppose if you were playing a save and you had 30 million in the bank, you're making 5 million a month, you're not even caring about money, this is one of the things that you want to invest in. This is one of the things that you definitely want to have at a max level, because this will help. And I'm pretty sure, we're looking at WWE's Performance Center, because they've got a better leveled Performance Center than us. They're at 90% training, and their facilities is at 70%. They can hold 10 people in there instead of 7, which would be pretty valuable for us at the moment. So that's something to think about if we do ever get rich. But at the moment, I just want to make some money. I just want to get in the green. Don't worry about upgrading our stuff. Just let's get in the green first, then we'll worry about that. But other than that, we're all pretty much set. The one other thing I'm going to do is Terrence and Terrell Dudley. So they are the sons of Devon Dudley. We've been hiring a couple little tag teams as of late because they've been joining AEW, and I think these guys have just had a match on Dark. So I wanted to bring them in and kind of have them as another low-end tag team at our disposal. So that would give us, 3-4 tag teams that are on a small pay-per-appearance deal. They're only $30 per match. They're very cheap, and we can use them to put over our other guys to help them gain some momentum. So it kind of gives us a little bit more option in our tag division, which is already pretty big, but I've always said more tag teams the merrier. You can never have enough tag teams in TEW, and I still stand by that, and I would love to have another couple more. So that's what we're going to do. We brought in the Acclaimed, they're a new team. Top Flight's a brand new team. We haven't used them yet, so we're about to. So why not bring in Terrence and Terrell Dudley as well, just to give us another low-end tag team to join the ranks. And they don't really cost us anything to really do it. So cheap, and they serve a purpose. So all right, let's move ahead. Let's go ahead and book our next episode of Dark and Dynamite. So I have given Pac a month off. That way we were not tempted to use him, and also his morale is pretty low. So a month off to hopefully try and boost up his morale, because we're not going to use him until November. Cody and Martin, what's the deal here? Well, there you go. Already, Cody Rhodes has taken him under his wing as a protege. So straight away, that's going to be huge for Duante. I don't even know how to say his name properly, but that's going to be great for him to try and boost up his stats. And we know how valuable utilizing proteges is. It really is. And speaking of proteges, QT Marshall is going to pass on tips on using psychology to Anna Jay. Now, let's have a quick little look at that. Anna Jay, her skills aren't all that amazing. We know that. She's got 38 psychology right now. Well, she had 35, so she's gone up by 3 points after that. And that's usually about the average that people will go up from their protege. So it's so crucial, so valuable when it does happen. And that's why if you can get protege mentor situations, you definitely want to capitalize on as much as you possibly can. All right. We'll use the All Elite Wrestling Arena as always, and we'll go ahead and book this show. Okay, let's have a look at the results for this week's Dark. On the pre-show, we thought about Anna Jay. We haven't used her for a little bit, so let's see how she goes. She'll take on the debuting Red Velvet. Anna Jay 20, Red Velvet 15, and Red Velvet has an adequate rating for her new gimmick, which is okay. So Anna Jay picked up the win. And more women's action as Thunder Rosa took on Allie in a 42 rated match. Thunder Rosa 42, Allie 33. So, we gave Thunder Rosa the win. I kind of forgot about Thunder Rosa a little bit. We haven't quite fully invested in her yet because we don't know, if she's going to be hanging around in All Elite Wrestling in the real life. But for us, I definitely believe if we can hang on to her, she's going to be a major player in our women's division. I think she's very good, and that's a pretty good result considering our women's division 40 is like the new 70 for us. So that's pretty good from Thunder Rosa. So I'm happy with that. We just want to see more of that from her and try and get that popularity up. And you never know, she may be our top woman in the division very soon. We opened up the contest with Taz and Broken Matt Hardy back and forth on the mic discussing the beatdown Brian Cage gave Matt Hardy on our last week's worth of shows. 69 rated segment, which is fantastic. Great way to really boost up this storyline heat. And that's probably Matt Hardy's best segment that he's had. You know, he's been a little bit disappointing. We haven't used him in a major role yet, but this is probably his first big test, I feel, in a feud. You know, he had a feud with Shawn Spears. Difficult for Matt Hardy in that one. Shawn Spears is not very good. This is a much better chance for him, and he might have a chance to get some popularity out of this if he and Taz can continue to do segments like this. Very good stuff. Let's continue. Kenny Omega was appearing here, and he talked about Adam Page's recent losses. So he addressed, you know, Adam Page losing the tag team titles and, you know, having a bit of a rough time against the Inner Circle. So a 69 rated segment here. Just wanted to get Kenny Omega on the show, continue to use him and get his, re-familiarized with the audience, I suppose. Get his face all over the show again after being gone for so long. Well, not that long, but it feels so long, long enough. 6 weeks, 2 months, or whatever. Top Flight decided to give them a match to see where they are at. They took on SCU. Top Flight both performed at 26 apiece. Adequate was their rating for both of their new gimmicks, which is fine. We can work with that. Kazarian 47, Scorpio Sky 45. Now here's the deal. You know, Scorpio Sky, I've got to say, is a little bit disappointing. Daniels and Kazarian are outperforming him, and you'd have to think that he'd be the better worker out of those guys at this stage of their careers. But he's just not getting it done in the TW world. Maybe he just doesn't have enough popularity. I don't know. But a 42 rated match here. SCU picked up the win in a 6-minute match. Pretty simple. SCU been on a bit of a losing run. It's time to get them a bit more momentum back, get them some wins, and we're going to start utilizing this new low-end tag team situation to try and do that. Boost up our bigger teams, especially on Dark. We had a hype video for Will Hobbs, basically a training montage of Will getting ready for an upcoming match against Ricky Starks potentially. So 30 rated for that one, not too bad. We had Private Party cut a promo on the Butcher and Blade. Not great promo, not a great one at all, 24 rated. But considering the storyline here, that's not actually even deterring it at the moment, which is kind of sad. But yeah, look, Private Party aren't great on the mic, but you know, we wanted to do something to hype up this feud and get this feud rolling with themselves and the Butcher and Blade. We put them in a match though against the Dark Order, a 10-minute match. The Dark Order picked up the win after the Butcher cost Mark Quinn the match. So a 46 rated match, which is pretty good. Grayson 42, Uno 42, Mark Quinn 40, and Cassidy 49. So Isaiah Cassidy the best in the match by far. A 46 rated match, so two teams that are kind of stuck in the middle a little bit. So both teams performed pretty well. So the Dark Order, we haven't really utilized this tandem all that much because I don't want them to lose, but I haven't really got them an opponent that I want them to beat all the time. Private Party, you know, they lost, but it was a purposeful loss, you know, with the Butcher getting himself involved. Dustin Rhodes cut a promo on Rey Fenix, basically discussing the upcoming, the new rivalry established between the Nightmare family and, of course, the other family, Eddie Kingston's family. So 50 rated from that one, which is good from Dustin. I want to try and use him a little bit more in that way. A few more promos to try and build up QT and Brian Pillman around him, and just also help the feud potentially gain some storyline heat. And that was our main event, Rey Fenix versus Dustin Rhodes for a 56 rated match. That increased the storyline heat. Rey Fenix picked up the win after Eddie Kingston got himself involved and picked up the win. So Dustin does have more popularity than Eddie Kingston, so probably where we're headed is maybe an Eddie Kingston-Dustin Rhodes showdown, where we might give Dustin the big win there. But of course, Phoenix and Penta much more popular than Dustin Rhodes, so it made sense to give them the win, or at least Rey Fenix in this instance. Rey Fenix 63, Dustin Rhodes pretty good though, 48. Both guys doing really well there, so that's a pretty solid main event. One last segment to follow it up. We did lose some heat here though. We did a big brawling segment, so obviously Eddie Kingston got himself involved. We did have Penta, Pillman, and QT all ringside for that match, and just all 6 guys just brawled it out to close out the show. So it was an even brawl, 44 rated. Okay, I guess not a lot of popularity in this segment, so it was kind of expected to bring it down a little bit, but still a little bit disappointing, but you know, it is what it is. 44 for that, which will give us a 38 rated show. We had just a few too many angles in the end. Okay. I thought that when I checked it, I did add one last segment right at the very end. Maybe that took it over the edge and I didn't double check, but yeah, 38 rated, just too many talking, you know, too many angles, I suppose, too many talking segments. So, well, look, you know, we needed that. We needed the promos. I feel we don't quite get enough in on Dynamite. So, you know, instead of having all these matches on Dark, I think it's good to get some promos in and kind of develop some storylines that way as well. But nonetheless, not quite enough to really appease the audience. Okay, Dynamite's booked. Let's have a look. So we've got a few pre-show matches before we get here. Will Hobbs took on Pineapple Pete. 5-minute match. Will Hobbs picked up the win. These two just had no chemistry at all. 19 rated match. Not good for Will, but again, we wanted to give him some wins, continuing to get some momentum building for him. Brandy Rhodes, we're still trying to see whether she's worth investing in as a wrestler. She performed at 38. And Brandy Rhodes has the most popularity out of every woman on our roster, I'm pretty sure, other than, you know, if you want to count Vicky Guerrero, which we won't. But any woman's wrestler, Brandy Rhodes has the most. So she's got some value. 38 in the ring is not too bad. It's passable. She beat Leva Bates, who performed at 26, 9-minute match, 35 rated. So maybe it's worth thinking about Brandy in a bigger role. You know, she could at least get a few feuds over with her mic skills. You know, God, I'm just thinking Britt Baker and Brandy back and forth on the mic. Yeah, it would be good. Would probably be good on the mic, but in the ring, oh boy. Let's not. Matt Cardona took on Michael Nakazawa in a 40 rated match. Still trying to see whether it's worth even bothering with Matt Cardona. 44 rated performance. He's got 40 pop. My answer is probably no. He did seem off his game, so he could have done better. 10-minute match. Nakazawa 30. Definitely not going to give Nakazawa a push, that's for sure. But Cardona's been pretty lousy so far. You know, small sample, I suppose. The Initiative took on SCU for 45. Daniels 52. Sky 46. Cutler 32. Avalon 34. We definitely need to turn Cutler and Bates and Peter Avalon. We need to get them all to be baby faces. We haven't done that yet. I just have... Well, I don't really care about them, to be honest, but I've just kind of neglected them and forgotten to officially turn them. So we should do that pretty soon. Maybe I'll try and do that in the next episode of Dark or something like that. 45 for the match, so it's not too bad. Okay, we open the show with a 94! Oh my goodness! 94 rated segment! That's got to be one of our best. Holy. Jon Moxley. He wants to fight MJF tonight. MJF is in the building, and he says, Moxley, you want to fight me? You got to find a partner for next week. MJF is not going to fight Moxley tonight. So no, I probably guess you say he would be in the building. Maybe he appears on the the big screen and says that instead. You know, he's still celebrating his big win, but he'll be back next week. Yeah, we'll go with that instead. But 94. Wow, that is that's big. That is very, very big. That is awesome. Okay, Cody Rhodes took on the debuting Matt Sydal. 69 rated, the TNT Championship on the line. Cody picked up the win. Cody 74, Matt Sydal 47, and Matt Sydal's gimmick was given a rating of poor. Ooh, okay. We made Matt Sydal took a bit of a bump in this match as well. We wanted to really try and make this great. We did go for a steal the show. Now, that probably could have affected this match. I think Cody might have performed a little bit better if it wasn't. Matt Sydal, you know, he's got high 30s pop, so I personally think this probably would have helped him. But a 69 rated match is pretty good, and it does advance, doesn't hurt our storyline either. So Matt Sydal, not a great start to his run here in AEW. I'm not sure what we're going to really do with Matt, if we're going to really use him in a prominent role, but again, I figured easy way to debut him, big match against a big star, and have him take a loss, but make him look good at the same time. So it's a good way to kind of establish him. Post-match, Miro grabbed the TNT Championship, went in the ring, and handed it to Cody, and then he walked away. So 69 for that one. So Miro, you know, just sending a little bit of a subtle statement to Cody. Miro was watching the match ringside for the opening contest. So 2 69 rated segments to try and boost that storyline. That's not too bad. Okay, Hikaru Shida took on Priscilla Kelly for 51. Wow. That might be one of our best women's matches ever. And that's not even a joke. 51 is really good for the women. Shida 50, Priscilla 41. So I think we might have had Britt Baker on commentary for this one. Just want to double check that. Yes, we did. So she was on commentary watching this one on. So that's really good. They had pretty good chemistry. So a Shida and Priscilla Kelly feud might be a good idea down the line. It's a very good match between the two. Okay, the Inner Circle are hyping up Kenny Omega's return match against Jake Hager. So Chris Jericho doing the talking in this one, 82 rated. It's a typical Jericho segment. We're trying to squeeze one of these in every single show to continue building the Inner Circle's popularity as a whole. So we're going to do Jake Hager and Kenny Omega in our main event. So Kenny's going to be back in the ring, finally. And look, Jake Hager hasn't had a lot of matches. He's got a lot of popularity. And yeah, you're probably going to take a loss, but I thought it might be a good opportunity to really go for a big match here and a big return for Kenny. Darby Allin defeated Jack Evans in a 58 rated match. Darby Allin 59, Jack Evans 42. Just a 7-minute match, and Darby performance at 59 is pretty incredible. So yes, we continue to neglect Darby a little bit, but here's something that might help Darby just a bit. Jon Moxley approaches Darby Allin and asks him to be his partner next week to take on MJF and Wardlow, and Darby accepts. So we will get Darby in the main event next episode of Dynamite, which I think will be a good move for Darby to try and boost him up a little bit and try and move him out of that mid-card. A match like that can help, and a segment like this will surely help as well. Good stuff, 72. Brian Cage took on Billy for 64. Wow, okay. Brian Cage 65, Billy 44. Now, I didn't actually advance the storyline between Brian Cage and Broken Matt Hardy in this one, because I actually thought this would probably hurt the storyline, but in fact, this would have helped. Brian Cage did a really good performance. 65 from him in 64 matches is awesome. Cage defeated Billy Gunn, of course. Post-match, we had Taz with Brian Cage hyping up a future match between Cage and Matt Hardy for 61, and kind of bragging about the beatdown that he's done and continuing to talking trash. Taz just really hyping up Cage about how great he is. 61, that did advance the storyline. It didn't quite gain any heat, but continuing to keep it where it's at, which is okay. Vicky Guerrero announced that she has officially got the Fatal 4-Way number 1 contenders match booked, I guess you could say. Of course, that'll feature Nyla Rose, Chris Statlander, Diamante, and Eva Lise to determine the number 1 contender. I wanted just to get Vicky in a talking segment here to try and help this women's storyline out, and it did. It gained heat. Vicky had a decent promo, 47, so not too bad there. The Young Bucks took on the Acclaimed in what was meant to be a bit of a squash match. Nick Jackson, 76, Matt Jackson, 79, Max Caster, 29, Anthony Bowens, 27. So Bowens actually sustained a swivel hips. Now, I don't think that's going to be too bad for him, but obviously they took on a brand new team, so it's not going to really do great in terms of the rating, so we didn't have it affect the storyline. Hopefully it doesn't affect their popularity, because we've noticed that having a few bad matches can affect the popularity here. So hopefully that doesn't be the case, but it's good to get the Acclaimed on Dynamite to try and, boost up their stock a little bit early on. Okay. Post-match, we had the Young Bucks super kick the Acclaimed again, laying them out one more time, and they got on the mic and demanded once again that they want their rematch with FTR, and if they don't get it, well, this is just the start of what is to come. So they are promising to hurt other teams. They are promising to do whatever it takes to get that rematch that they are, craving for. 63 for that one, advancing the storyline as well. Taz is backstage with Ricky Starks, and they are strategizing for the Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks upcoming match. So again, easy way to get Taz involved to help out his brand new client, Ricky Starks. And our main event was Kenny Omega versus Jake Hager for 75. Awesome. Kenny, 81. Jake, 60. Starting to think maybe I should have done Kenny versus Sammy Guevara. But nonetheless, we went with Jake Hager, 60 rated from him. Despite the fact he's got high 50s pop, still not quite performing all that amazing. But in the end, Sammy Guevara had a role to play. He actually cost Jake Hager the match when he tried to interfere. We had Chris Jericho on commentary. So Kenny Omega picked up the win in his big return match. Thank goodness he is back. We need him. It's good to see him and good to have him back. And we had the last segment here. We had Kenny Omega and Adam Page. They were celebrating, but then Kenny Omega walked off on his own. Just kind of, left Adam Page in the ring on his own to go and celebrate his win by himself as the Inner Circle were just irate. They were furious that they lost. Only 69 for this segment. It was a lack of anything interesting happening that was the problem. So I guess with the storyline being as hot as it is, anything that's not, 5 stars every time will hurt it. And I guess this just didn't quite deliver. It was really more designed to create some subtle dissension between Kenny and Adam Page, that not everything is 100% between the two, despite the fact that Kenny got the win. So, just a little bit of a downer. I thought this, last segment was going to be, around 70 to 80 and really finish off the show nicely, but just didn't quite execute, unfortunately. But nonetheless, we had a 68 rated Dynamite. So we had a couple of really strong matches. We had the Cody match, the Kenny match, the Cage and Billy match, with of course a few really good angles, including that 94. So we had a good mix and pretty decent card across the board. So it's good to get a nice increase for once. So a 68 is one of our best Dynamites in a while. So I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, let's look at the fallout from our Dynamite. Jake Hager's contract is expiring, so a good opportunity to have him wrestle to see if it's really worth paying him the big contract. Obviously, we probably will, but we'll take a look. Dynamite, 0.98 TV rating, 736,000 viewers. We managed to achieve. Yeah, not too bad, I suppose. Not great. A couple other things. El Hebner, he's retiring. I think he's currently under contract with us, so he's no longer going to referee anymore. He's had enough, so that's a bit of a shame. And Jake Roberts, well, apparently he still is able to wrestle if you want him to. Not that I do, but if you really wanted him to, he would. But he's going to retire now from wrestling, probably for the best. So I don't think we really need him wrestling. NXT, 1.96 rating, 1.47 million viewers. They had a 65 rated show, so we actually beat them this week. We had a better show for them for once. Ring of Honor, I just noticed them for the first time. Haven't really seen too much of them yet. 69 rated show from them. Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham beat Lifeblood in the main event for 75. So Ring of Honor's actually got some nice shows happening there as well. So that's interesting. So might have to keep an eye on them. Well, Anthony Bowens, he suffered an injury, so we'll have a quick little look. So it's going to be a 19-day injury. Not too bad, but obviously probably won't want to book him for a couple of weeks there just so he can heal up. He had a couple of matches. He's now 14 pop, so he's got a bit of a start to his AEW career, isn't it? But nonetheless, Adam Page 63 pop, Jericho still the same. Actually, no, Jericho 84 in a couple of areas, so he's going up again. So, he was around that 82, 83. Now he's starting to move up again, which is fantastic. Moxley starting to reclaim that 72 mark, which is great. Kenny Omega 69, 68, which is solid. And MJF 63. So once again, MJF has moved up as well, which is great. Matt Hardy still the same. Jake Hager 59, 58. So despite taking the loss, he's still increasing his popularity. So it won't be long, I feel, until he's in the 60s, which is obviously a huge bonus. he probably needs the popularity. His in-ring work wasn't quite amazing, unfortunately. Okay, so let's take a look at Jake Hager's contract. So his is obviously expiring. I want to sign him to an exclusive deal. I want to lock him down. He's 38, but I want to keep him for at least 2 years. I'll give him a better cut of the merch. Hopefully 20% will be okay. And I'm happy for him to be whatever is needed. So I'm going to give him $24,500. I want to make sure we keep him. A signing bonus, let's hopefully we can not do that. So I'm pretty sure we should be able to hang on to him. I don't think the WWE will try and steal him off of us. Fingers crossed anyways. We'll leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with another episode coming up very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one.